Good morning from Big Bend National Park. Last night I camped out here in the backcountry. I got a permit. It was only like 10 bucks, but this is absolutely gorgeous. And if you don't know anything about Big Bend National Park, it's nestled in southwest Texas. It borders Mexico, and Mexico is actually right over there. It's only about 5 miles that way. I don't know if you can see it right over there. There's the Santa Elena Canyon. You can kind of see a gap in the mountains over there, and that's where the canyon goes. And on one side is Mexico, and the other side is the United States. But we got the Chisos Mountains over there. They are the only mountain range that's fully contained within a national park, which is pretty cool. So Big Bend is one of the most remote national parks. You gotta really want to be here in order to come out here. Big Bend protects over 800,000 acres of desert, mountains, and river canyons in the Chihuahuan Desert. This place is also pretty epic for night photography, which I have never tried, but last night I tried to catch some star trails. I'll put them up on the screen here, but it was really cool. There is no light pollution out here. There is not another camper within many, many miles of where I'm at. Very peaceful night last night, for sure. So today I have a campsite at the Rio Grande Village, which is at the complete other side of the park. So it's probably gonna take me like an hour and a half to get there. That tells you just how big this park is. But on the way there, there's another campground called the Chisos Basin. This area has a lot of the most popular trails here at Big Bend. I have two candidates for a trail to hike today. Number one is the Window Trail, which has some phenomenal views of the Chisos Basin. I've done that hike before, but the other one that I'd like to do is called the Lost Mines Trail. The parking lot fills up really quick for that one from what I hear. So if parking is available, I'm going to do that one. But if not, I'll go do the Window Trail. It got down to like the 30s last night, but the high today is like 68 or something. It's just crazy how in the desert you get these huge temperature fluxes, 30s at night to like 70s in the day. Should make for good hiking weather. All right, we are ready to go now. Yeah, the road to get out here to this primitive site is very washboardy. Probably one of the worst washboard roads that I've been down. Let me plug the Lost Mines Trail into my GPS. Actually, it's Lost Mine Trailhead, my bad. It's about a 34-minute drive from here. It's already getting a little warm out, so I'm definitely gonna have to change a tire before I start this hike. Off we go. As you can tell, definitely not the best road for sure, but necessary to get to some nice remote camping here at Big Bend. Back on the pavement. So in case you're new here, my name's Garrett, and in June of 2024, I sold everything I own, and I moved into the back of this Sprinter van, and I've just been traveling the country ever since. And if you've been following along, you know that this is not my first trip to Big Bend. The first YouTube video I ever did, I filmed here at Big Bend, so I'm not gonna do everything in the park because that would be way too much to see in one day. But there's one drive that you cannot miss if you come to Big Bend, and it's called the Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive. If you go back to my original video I shot, you can catch that, but just keep in mind, this was the first YouTube video I ever did. Take that for what you will. So if I were to continue on this road that I'm on, it would take us all the way to the Rio Grande Village, which is where we're going to camp tonight. But since we are going to do one of these two trails, we're going to turn off into the Chisos Mountains and see which trail we're going to end up doing. So the road leading up to it and all the area right in there, it's all going to be shut down starting May 1st of next year, which is going to be May of 2026. And it's going to be shut down for 2 years. So if you want to come to Big Bend, experience the Chisos Mountains, I'd get here before May 1st, or it's going to be 2 years before you can get there. Here we go. Into the Chisos Mountains we go. Yeah, and that sign's not lying. There are definitely some pretty windy roads up here. And unfortunately, looks like the Lost Mine trailhead is pretty full. So we're gonna continue on and do the window trail. All right, approaching the Chisos Lodge Visitor Center. Now we just have to find a place to park. I think right here will do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and change because it is no longer cold out and get ready to do this hike. I'm stoked. Looks like it's about 54 degrees right now and the high is 68, but with that desert sun kind of baking on you, it gets warm pretty fast. So I'm gonna change clothes and then hit this hike. So the really cool thing about this hike is it goes all throughout the Chisos Basin. So you've got the mountains surrounding you on both sides, which is pretty cool. And at the very end, you come to this very narrow window that just leads to a sharp drop off and then an amazing view in the background. So definitely an awesome reward for this hike. Need to get my bag packed, which really just consists of, let's see. Oh, that's trash. I've already got snacks in here from last time. So really, all I need is water and be good to go. I always like to add electrolytes just to help me stay hydrated. We're about ready to go. Just get my bag ready and we'll go hit this trail. Just beautiful. Over there, these are all like the little hotels you can stay at. Gonna be doing the window trail, and looks like we got black bears and mountain lions. This is basically saying that we're gonna be doing about 1,000 feet of elevation on the way back up. This is definitely one of my favorite national parks, not only because it's in my home state, but also because I just love the terrain here. Very rugged, very remote, and beautiful. So right over there, that's called the window, and that's where we're headed. But first we have to descend all the way down into this basin, which includes a lot of switchbacks. Actually, I'm gonna try to take some pictures here. You can still see the moon, and it's like right centered in the window. That's pretty cool. In case you're not familiar with hiking and switchbacks, basically it's just winding to and from to make an ascent or a descent. So we'll go around here and then it'll switch back and come back this way, and we'll just go down like that. This kind of stinks. Luckily I'm only about a quarter mile in. I already made a lot of descent, but I don't think I locked my doors. So back to the van. Which really stinks. I made a quarter of a mile because this first part is where most of the elevation change is. Get a good workout today though, that's for sure. Almost back. All right, let's see how far away I have to be to lock these doors. There we go. Round two, let's go. I should mention that if you're thinking about coming to Big Bend, I would definitely recommend coming in the winter. During the summer, temperatures get very hot and there's a lot of heat-related injuries. But during the winter, prime time to be here. The really cool thing about this trail is like you've got 360 views, like everywhere you look. It's just absolutely gorgeous. About finished our descent into the basin. And the cool thing about being here on a Monday is I haven't seen a single other soul on this trail. And now we've got the shade, sun's behind that mountain there. 2-mile check-in, still making good time. I think I'm moving around 18 minutes a mile. Should be able to knock this out in less than a couple hours. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Just majestic, awesome. Kind of reminds me a little bit, completely different areas, but just the fact that I'm walking through a very narrow valley. Kind of reminds me of Yosemite a little bit, just mountains on either side. That's kind of a cool view right there. We're getting close. This last part, you can see there's like some steps carved into the rock over there. Kind of get you around to the window. There it is. So this stone down here is very, very slippery. So I don't want to get too close to the edge or I might just slide off. That's just amazing. I've never seen a view quite like it. I'm guessing whenever it rains, water must come right through here. And that's what makes it so slippery right over there. Get some snacks up in me, so fuel for the trek back. Kind of crazy that there's nobody else here. And even crazier that this part of the park is going to be shut down starting May 1st. If you want to get this view on Window Trail, better get out here before May 1st. If you're wondering why I wasn't breathing hard at the end, because it's all downhill till you get there. The entire way back up is steady uphill, and at the very end, you have all the switchbacks. Pretty sharp ascent. But I'm glad I got here when I did, because I have passed some other people, probably like 3 or 4 different sets of hikers. So I got here at the right time. It's the final climb up there. I think my van is just above that ridge. I came across this big guy on the trail. I lost all my good footage, so I slowed down what little I had so I could show you. I would say out of this entire trail, which will end up being a little over 5 miles, the last quarter mile is definitely the toughest. Although I would not rate this as a challenging hike. I would say it's probably like a moderate. If it wasn't for this last part, it'd probably be an easy hike. But that's the window. That's where we came from. We've just been doing switchbacks all up and down here. Almost back. Made it back. There's the van up there. I've got a stank in here, and I'm pretty sure it's my gray water tank. That's got to be emptied soon. Should have drank more water. I didn't drink very much. Even though there's probably a lot more to see up here in the Chisos Mountains, I'm gonna go ahead and head over to the campsite because I'm hungry, need to make some lunch, and just want to get settled in. Whew, it definitely got hot. It's saying it's only 80, but my van has been baking in the sun, so it's like 85 or 90 in here. forgot to stop my hike. Save that. So I ended up doing 6.3 miles into 1,200 feet of ascent. And normally you wouldn't do that, but since I forgot to lock my van, I had to do that last quarter mile twice. So yeah. We're gonna get out of the mountains. Yeah, we're about 6,200 feet of elevation right now. It's gonna be a little warmer down at the Rio Grande Village where we're headed. Also, I don't need diesel, but there's only one gas station in Big Bend and we're gonna pass it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill up just because I wanna make sure I have enough. Off we go. So when I'm on these steep descents, I make sure to use my paddle shifters, so that way my engine is braking for me and I'm not having to ride my brakes. Even though this is so steep, I'm still having to hit them pretty often. Came out of the Chisos Mountains. Now we're headed to Panther Junction. I think it's one of the main visitor centers here, but right next to it is a gas station that has diesel. Gonna stop there, grab some diesel, and head on to the Rio Grande Village. Yeah, I honestly thought that the diesel prices were going to be really high in the park, but they're really not that bad. Like $3.50, not bad at all. There, and right over here we have the village store, and this is the only facilities that I'm aware of that actually have some showers. Oh, I see a dump station right here, so we are gonna dump real fast. Yeah, that smell I was smelling, definitely my gray water tank. Now we're on to the campsite. It's already 2:20. I am starving. I need lunch. Coming into the campground now. I think I am site 75, so right down this row here. Not a bad site. And it's kind of nice because in the afternoon I've got a little shade from this tree right over here. I can leave my door open and I'll have a nice breeze coming through, so that'll be good. First priority is lunch. So last year when I was here, I saw a lot of javelinas in this campground. Now, I didn't see any when I was pulling in today, but hopefully I'll see some because they're pretty neat to see. I'm gonna make my classic turkey and cheese today because I don't really have anything else for lunch. I know I said a lot about this last video. Whenever you're prepping to come out to Big Bend, it's important to bring everything you're going to need because there's not a lot out here. You can get little things at some of the stores, but you're gonna pay a lot for it. So that's the reason I tried to get everything I needed before I came out here in the last town that had a Walmart, which was Fort Stockton, which is like 2.5 hours away from here. Oh, mustard, turkey and cheese. I don't really have any plans for the rest of today. Honestly, after that hike I did this morning, probably just gonna relax for a little bit before I go tackle another hike. Cheers. open up this door. Hopefully get a little breeze coming in. The sandwich is done. I'm gonna walk around the campsite a little bit and just sort of explore, see what we find. So this is the actual trail that will take us up to the point where you can see the sunset tonight. But if my memory serves me right, you can also get to the Rio Grande this way. So see if we can find it. I showed you guys this on my last Big Bend video, but here's some of those trinkets people bring over from across the border and then leave over here for people to purchase. Then have a little pay here. Yeah, so here's Big Bend National Park, and the reason they call it Big Bend is because the bend in the Rio Grande River separates the United States from Mexico. Way over there, those are the Chisos Mountains that we were at earlier today. And there's a horse. Current situation, I believe the Rio Grande in Mexico is straight ahead. Here we go. Here's the Rio Grande right up here. There she is. Right on the other side is Mexico. Let me zoom in on this. These look like they're goats. And they're just all kind of walking along the ridge line here. It's really neat. There are a ton of them out there. This deep sand is probably getting all in my shoes and in my socks. But I think we're on the right path. So now I'm starting to see trinkets again. All right, made it back to camp. So I've made a decision. I was thinking about riding my bike over to take a shower because they have some coin operated showers here, but it's already 4:50 and I think it might close at 4:30, but I'm not sure. I'm just gonna shower in here. I got an empty gray water tank, so before I leave here, I'll probably dump it again. This stays right up here in this compartment and I can just roll it down and shower right here in the van. And here's the inside. Got the shower nozzle up there. You got a drain down there. Oh yeah, I should probably shut the door all the way too. Now I just need to test if the water's hot yet. Oh yeah, nice and hot. Just in case you don't know how showers work in a van, you get yourself wet, turn the water off, then soap up, and then you rinse everything off. Feel so much better. I'm gonna get dressed and then make some dinner. Shower's put up, van's reset. I'm just sort of hanging out. I'm gonna wait till it cools off a little bit and then make me some dinner. So unfortunately, I just put the chicken that I had in the freezer in the fridge this morning and I thought it would be thawed out, but it's not even close. It takes like 24 hours. I should have known that. And the only backup meal I have is a frozen pizza. Not the healthiest meal, not what I'm craving, but I'll just have to wait and cook that tomorrow night. Not the healthiest dinner, but it works. Tomorrow, I have a super exciting adventure. I'm leaving the country and going over into Mexico. There is a unique opportunity here at Big Bend. There is actually an official port of crossing where you can cross over into Mexico. I believe you can cross over by foot or by boat. Find out once I get there. I'll just show up and see what I need to do from there. Delicious. It's pitch black out there now. It's getting late. I think it's just gonna be a show night. See what's on the Netflix. I haven't seen this movie in years. I didn't even know how old it was. From 1997. I think I'm going to settle in here, watch my movie, and just relax. Did a lot of miles today and probably gonna do a lot more tomorrow. See y'all in the morning. Good morning. Surprise. It's actually a couple of days later from what you saw last night. Let me explain. So I've told you I don't do a lot of planning, and it really kind of came to bite me here because I had planned to go a couple of days ago and cross the border into Mexico. What I failed to do is check the Big Bend National Park website for when the port of crossing is open. It wasn't open on the day I was planning on going, but it is open today. So I'm gonna have my coffee, get ready to head over to the border crossing. So for the past couple of days, I've just been doing a lot of hiking and working on editing some videos. Cheers. In my opinion, Big Bend has some of the best hiking in the state of Texas, hands down. In order to stay in Big Bend, I do have to pay for campsites, which normally I don't really like doing. However, since this national park is so remote, the fees for camping in the established campgrounds are only $16 a night, so it's pretty cheap. And then when I was doing some primitive camping in the backcountry, that was only $10 a night, so it's definitely worth it in my opinion. It's time to get this show on the road. So I need to get this van cleaned up, go head over to the port of crossing. About done with all the prep to get everything ready to go. Just need to roll up my bug screen. It's finally getting a little warmer out. It's been super chilly in the mornings. I'm in a different campsite than what you guys saw me in yesterday. This one isn't right in the middle of camp, so I don't have neighbors all around, so this is definitely a little bit nicer than the one I had the other day. I usually shave outside to keep all my facial hairs from being all in the van. Now I just need to change my clothes, and I'll be ready to hit the road. Yeah, I kind of was looking at this whenever I came in, but I don't think I can go forward out of this campsite. I think I'm gonna have to reverse. That branch is too low. I think I'm clear. Now let's roll to the crossing. Looks like this port of crossing is only like 5 minutes from the Rio Grande Village, so we are very close. And I think it's like a half mile after you cross the river before you get to this little village, and I think it's only got a population of like 200 people. Here we are, Boquillas crossing, so I just need to be back before 4. I guess this is where we're supposed to park. That's the one we're gonna take. Just need to get some shoes on and we're gonna cross the border. I've got so much dust on my shoes from hiking these trails here. They're gonna need a good cleaning once I leave here. Hey, doing good. How are you? That was easy enough. Said just to come on down to the river, and there's gonna be someone there to offer me a boat ride across, and then they're gonna offer me like a donkey ride into town or something. So we'll see what we end up doing, but pretty easy process, honestly. Yeah, apparently there's a couple of restaurants over here, a visitor center, and then once I get across, I just have to go check with the Mexican immigration office and should be good to go. All right, here's the river up here. Now there's a boat. Hola.
Donkey, horsey to town, pick up. Donkey, horse.
Donkey.
Donkey.
Muchas gracias.
Una pesada.
Yes, restaurant tacos favorito.
Tacos. See. Time to say goodbye to my steed and go into town.
Up there in the train.
Sí, gracias. Gracias. Hola. Oh, you missed it, but this donkey was not cooperating with this guy. Got this combo plate, only $7. I'll go down here.
Muy bonito.
Sí, increíble. That's beautiful. Now it's time to head back to the crossing.
Okay, pollo, no pollo. Sí, mucho gusto.
Gracias. All right, made it back across the border. I didn't do a lot of filming over there because I had an escort the entire time. Didn't speak a lot of English.
The two newest people in here, are you guys from America? Do you have American passports?
Yes.
If you're ever visiting Big Bend, I highly encourage you to visit the village. The people over there were so nice, very courteous. There's tons of little souvenir shops. In my opinion, it's a must-see if you're coming out to Big Bend. But like I was saying, I did have an escort while I was over there. He was super friendly, really wanted to show me everything, but I didn't get a lot of footage over there because of that. But definitely worth the experience. Very glad I went. And I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. So if you've watched this far, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like, dropped a comment below. It really helps out the channel. But I think I'm gonna call it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I will see y'all next week.